Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of the 240 build. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please feel free to check out the other videos that pretty much takes you on a full dive onto how we started this car that you guys see behind me and how we pretty much got it to the point that it's at currently. So the reason why I'm making this video, and this video is actually quite overdue, is because, well, not only do I owe it to myself, but I really owe it to you guys who've invested time to watch my videos, follow along the course of the build, whether it's through YouTube or just posting on Instagram about the build of this car, and let you guys know really the truth about what's the holdup. So we're gonna jump right into it. So before I just jump right into the deep root issue of why this car isn't on the road yet, I do want to address something as far as the body work on this car. Now, as you guys know, when I rolled this car into my driveway, after it's been on the body shop, literally down a block from my house, I uncovered some mysteries that I found that I asked the shop to address before they returned the car back to me. And it was the undercarriage. Mind you, I literally live in walking distance to the shop, so I made countless visits, and I know the owner. I've used them in the past for multiple jobs. And the one area that I really wanted them to address, of course, they did not address it. So I've been going back and forth with him for quite some time to address the rust holes and the crushed frame rails that are under the car. But after kind of reflecting a little bit longer, I'm making the executive decision that I'm not bringing the car back there. I kind of have an idea of where I might bring it. I haven't contacted this new potential shop that I may use for that part of the restoration of the build, but it's something that I feel like is above what I'm able to take on at this current time. So I want to source that out, but I just wanted to make a mention of that. And I'll get into some other things later on in the video. But, all right, the bread and butter of why this car is not on the road is because the shop that I've contracted almost 3 years ago has still not finished the motor. And this video is not to spur any type of hate. It's not to bash, but I am going to tell it how it is. And it is what it is, you know? So I spoke to the owner of the shop. When I first was getting ready to start this project, we sat down and we went over, the build and what my goals were, power goals, all these different things. And what I could tell you right away is that the owner came across very knowledgeable, definitely knows his stuff. And, he had previously come from another shop that had actually been shut down by the town because of all these violations. And that's a whole nother story, but I won't get into that. But one thing that he had said to me that stuck out was that he left that shop because too many cars were just, sitting around. They weren't getting anything done. So he really wanted to have a place where cars are coming in and out, work's getting done. So I like that aspect, right? So, of course, with that type of energy and him giving me a time frame that I thought was going to be realistic for him to complete the build. Of course, I move forward. As you guys can see behind me, I literally got money on jack stands. That's how I see it. It's just a whole bunch of cash just sitting up on top of jack stands at this point. And honestly, my honest feelings about the business aspect of the transaction, obviously it's not good, but I'm not crying over spoiled milk. So at this point, what I've done, I've given the shop a time frame. Like, all right, right now it's the end of June. And what's interesting about me making this video right now, I had actually spoke to the owner of the shop at the beginning of April. And, I sat down with him, and I was really trying to look at this from like a different perspective and see what happened, where did the ball drop? And ultimately what I gathered is that the shop really just kind of bit off more than they could chew. And that's why I'm in this current position that I'm in. Um, you live and you learn. I'm not one to live with regrets, but it taught me why I think personally a lot more YouTubers and why a lot more people are kind of becoming DIYers and they're just doing things at home themselves. That's why there's so many communities with information. And it's because of scenarios like this. And of course, because I was going through this situation, I've spoken to countless other people and, just finding out about their experience with shops. And come to find out, a lot of people are having the similar experiences that I'm having with places that they dealt with, or places claiming to know they know things that they don't. And for me in business, I feel like if I can't do something or I don't want to do something, the best thing you could say is no. You understand? If I can't fulfill a request, say no. Or if I did make a commitment and I'm dropping the ball, just communicate that to me. I don't want to chase you as a shop that I'm going to give my money to do work that you're in business to do. You understand? So if you're in business to make cookies and I come to buy cookies and you don't have fucking cookies, like, why are you in business? I know it's a crazy analogy, but long story short, if you're supplying something, there's demand for it, and then you don't want to supply it, what are you here doing? So that's kind of the situation that I'm stuck in right now. And the reason why I mentioned April is because at the beginning of the month when I sat down with him, he told me that the following week the motor was going to be done. Essentially at this point, the last time I contacted him, which maybe was a week ago, motor still isn't done. And I don't think it's done right now as I'm making this video. I don't think the block has been touched. I've seen the head. The head was,
pause,
pieced together. But again, when you're just thinking about the entire time frame, even if parts are backed up for a couple of months, once you get it in, we're building a 4-banger here. Nothing too complex, nothing overly over the top. This is something like, I honestly did wish that I kind of just took the time to learn it and go through this first build entirely myself and try to really do a deep dive and take it on. But I learned from this experience and I'm not mad at it. And one thing I will say about the shop owner, I do think that he is knowledgeable. I do think that the shop does great work. But, I've had a few instances where things were very delayed. And, I'm understanding as much as I can be up until the point that it starts to not make sense. And it hasn't made sense, obviously, in a very, very long time. So I think as I'm making this video and as I've reflected on this for a long time, if what I need done is not done by June, I think I'm going to pull the plug on the shop and we're going to source this elsewhere or, well, potentially be taking this on ourselves. So that's where we're at right now, guys. So hopefully I can get back to, making content a little bit more consistently like I have been. It's funny, I was at the movies yesterday. I see some friends, man. And it's so funny, whenever I run into people, they're always asking me, like, what's the status of this build? And the more and more people I run into and the more and more people that ask me, it just kind of shows, like, I don't know, it's just, I felt like I did owe this video to you guys. I really do feel that way, and you guys deserve to know, Really not too sure what else to say, I'm kind of at a loss for words here, but I'm not one for burning bridges, So while I will look you in the face and tell you the same thing I am on camera to your face, I'm not gonna, shit talk you. I'm not bashing you. That's why I'm not dropping names. I'm not dropping shop names. If you know, it is what it is. I'm not hiding it. But my purpose isn't to go that route. It's really just more to let you guys know what's going on. And if you guys are starting your own project, maybe this is something you'll take into consideration and go from there. So stay tuned, guys, and hopefully soon I can get you guys some new content and go from there. Peace.